Now, Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn, currently serving as the acting president of this country, had lunch with the media today. Over Samgyetang, or ginseng chicken soup, he outlined his stance on some key policies set out by the currently suspended Park administration. Although he's been under pressure to change some deemed heavily controversial policies, his remarks today suggest that he will stick by them. Our Kwon Jang-ho reports. Oh, and why ginseng chicken soup? Well, there's a reason behind that too.
Acting President and Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn held a lunch meeting with the press on Thursday and took the opportunity to clarify his positions on a range of policy issues. He first touched on the issue of Seoul and Tokyo's controversial landmark deal on Japan's sexual enslavement of Korean women during World War II.
우리만의 문제가 아니라 국가 간의 협의를 거쳐서 결정된 이런 것이라는 점에서 연속성 있게 유지되는 것이 바람직하지 않느냐 그런 생각을 갖고 있습니다.
Wednesday marked the one-year anniversary of the deal, which promised a fund worth $8.6 million to help support the surviving victims of the wartime atrocity, as well as an apology from Prime Minister Abe to President Park Geun-hye. But due to outcry from victims who say they were not consulted on the agreement, there have been growing calls for it to be renegotiated or scrapped altogether. Hwang stressed that the agreement was already being carried out, and even if Korea wanted to renegotiate, Japan would unlikely to accept. Hwang also talked about next year's deployment of the US missile defense system THAAD to Korea, another controversial policy introduced by the currently suspended President Park. The proposed deployment has strained relations with China, and opposition lawmakers have suggested it should be reassessed, but Hwang rejected the idea.
사드 배치 문제는 우리 국민들의 생명과 또 국가의 안위와 직결되는 사안입니다.
Hwang also gave his support to the proposed state-authored history textbooks, another key Park administration policy. Concerns have been raised about the textbooks having too much state interference, but Hwang said he hoped the books will provide students with good historical education. The lunch meeting took place at a restaurant specializing in Samgyetang, a traditional Korean chicken broth, in a show of support for the country's poultry industry, which has been hit hard by an outbreak of bird flu. The South Korean government has culled some 28 million poultry birds, decimating meat and egg supplies and causing prices to soar. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.